Be honest. You say you want a better life. You want more money, a better body, more confidence. But if I asked you, what did you actually do to get one step closer to that? Could you give me a real answer? If not, this 6 minute habit is going to be a turning point for you. Now, for a long time, I wanted to be a content creator and I struggled to do it. Like, no matter how bad I wanted to do it, when it came to posting videos, and let alone posting videos consistently, it wasn't getting done. But I remember one day I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw this obvious scammer of a guy saying he could help you blow up your TikTok really soon. And for some reason, I fell into it. I'm not gonna lie. I was desperate and I just wanted to find out how can I get into content creation? How can I start making money online? I want to get my piece of the pie too. So I checked out this program and it was only $50. So I was like, you know what? I'll try it out. I know like it's screaming scam, but I'm gonna try it out. And within the first week of us working together, I started posting 8 videos a day. I went from struggling to be consistent and even struggling to post on social media to posting 8 TikTok videos a day. And there's a reason why I started doing that. And while the guy still was pretty much a scam, he did get me started on content creation through accountability. And that's what this is the big theme of this video is going to be. It's going to be accountability. Because that's ultimately what will trigger you to do something. Accountability. And if you want more from life, but you're not doing what needs to get done to get it, then that means you're the type of person who needs accountability. You got to add that into your life, and it's your choice ultimately. Because if you don't want to take accountability and start engineering more accountability moments into your life that will influence how you move, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But you're not going to achieve the things you want in life, because to achieve the better things you want, the more money, the better body, the more confidence, you first have to take responsibility for being the one who's going to get that, and then take accountability for the fact that you're the reason you don't have it. And then once you take that accountability, then you can say, okay, well then if I'm the person who's accountable for this, I could be accountable to change other things. Now that's just one form of accountability, but I just want you to understand that that's what you're missing ultimately. And once you add more into your life, you will do what needs to be done. Like imagine this, for instance, to make it really more concrete in your mind. Imagine there's 2 cars. They're speeding down the road, and car one sees a cop and slows down. Car two doesn't see the cop, speeds past the cop, gets caught speeding, and gets a ticket. Now, which car was better off? The car that had no sense of accountability, the car that didn't see the cop and so wasn't held accountable to follow the law and then got the ticket, or the car that saw the cop and was instantly held accountable to follow the law, slowed down, and got away without a ticket. Accountability can either work for you or against you. And if you want it to work for you, then it's something you would definitely want to put into your life. So the only way you can put accountability measures into your life, the only way to do that is to first have a goal you can be held accountable to. This is a goal you want to happen. This is the thing you've been wanting to get all your life, I'm guessing. If not all your life, then for the past few months or even years, you've been wanting this. Maybe you want to learn a new language. Maybe you've been wanting to start a business and make money online. Maybe you've been wanting to post content. Maybe you've been wanting to write a book or learn how to dance. Whatever it is, you want to have a goal. And you want to have a number to the goal you want to achieve. And normally you would call this an end goal, but I want this to be really simple for you. So I would say set a goal you want to be done by the end of the week with a number. So for instance, my goal is to get better in basketball. So that's the first goal. Have your goal. Now, to put a number to it, I would say I will shoot hoops 6 times this week. So that's it. So now I know what the behavior I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be shooting hoops. I know the goal is to get better at basketball. And I know if I shoot hoops 6 times this week, by the end of this week, by Sunday, then I've completed my goal. I've gotten close to getting better at basketball. And I'm ultimately getting what I want. Another example is I want to make money online. A way to make money online first is to have a product or service that people can buy from, that people can give you their money. So one a goal of mine could be I want to have my sales page 100% done and live, ready to be viewed by others by the end of the week. So you want to have a goal, but also make sure there's a number so you know exactly what has to be done for you to do it, and then a deadline. So you won't just sit all willy nilly saying, I've got all the time in the world to do it. No, you have the end of the week. Now, here's where the accountability comes in. Because, like I said, you can't be held accountable unless you have a goal. So now you have a goal. And we would normally call this the end goal, but you have it. Now you want to pick a day and a time once out of the week where you're going to hold yourself accountable. For me, that is every Sunday at the end of the day. That is when I sit in this office and look over my goal board and ask the questions I'm going to give to you in a second. But that's exactly what I do every Sunday at the end of the week. And so you may notice in different videos that the goal board changes. Every 5 videos, on that 6th video, the goal board will change because I've done my weekly accountability session, which is what I'm going to have you start doing. So right now, think about a day and a time you're going to hold these sessions. And make this something you do at the same day, same time, every week. So you can come to expect this. This needs to be like just as normal as, what people would say going to church. I know most people probably don't really go to church anymore. Maybe do, but, just something will be there, a routine that you would do once at least every week. Now, during your accountability session, you want to ask these questions. Did you complete your goals? Why or not? What did you do good this week? And what can you do better next week? And then set your next end goals. So the third question, what are my end goals with a number for next week? Now let me take a little swig of water. My throat is dry. Now, I just ran through you the entire accountability session. As you can see, it's not hard. It's just having a goal and then having a session every week to hold yourself accountable for the goals you said you want to do. But you may have a question. What if you hold these accountability sessions but nothing about your behavior changes? That's okay. Things aren't going to change immediately. The accountability session, I told you, do it at the same day, same time every week so you can come to expect it. Right now, you don't come to expect that these accountability sessions are going to be around. So it's still easy for you to slack off. And that's what happened to me. When I started this accountability session, for the entire month, I wasn't doing the goals I wrote down. But here's what happened. Every Sunday, I'd have to sit and look and answer those questions and look over my week. And every week, I would see my end goals not being met, and they weren't even being attempted to be met. And so every freaking Sunday, I was met face to face with the facts that I was the reason I was holding myself back. There was no other reason. It was me. And I kept holding these accountability sessions, and I started to expect that every week I'm going to be looking over what I did. And what happened was, I started thinking, well, if I know I'm going to be held accountable, let me go ahead and get started, because at least I want to have this accountability session and walk out of it feeling proud instead of feeling like a reject because I didn't do what I said mattered to me. And that's what will happen to you. If you're doing it and nothing's changing, keep holding accountability sessions and keep feeling that sting. Because eventually you're going to get fed up and you're going to say, I want to leave this accountability session with pride. And that is when things will change for you. And like I said, I hold these accountability sessions all the time. And there's a reason I still do this to this day, because they work. I will say in the beginning, so you can remember to do these, just set an alarm clock. That's why I said remember the time and the day. So you can set for an alarm clock on that time and that day to hold the accountability session. And to make it even easier, make sure you have the questions written out somewhere that you can easily get in. And by the way, this shouldn't take longer than 6 minutes. Like, this is a quick accountability session. You saw I only gave you like 3, or really 4 questions. They're really simple. And it's these simple things that can be really easy to overlook, but no one ever reached the top of the mountain without a plan, without doing the small things people are willing to overlook To be successful, to be a high achiever, to live intentionally, these are kind of small things you got to start doing. Holding yourself accountable is definitely one of those things. So you can start practicing accountability right now by telling me what is the end goal you're going to hold yourself accountable for by the end of next week. So right now, keep practicing. Think about your end goal and make sure there's a number attached to it. And then put in the comments and say, I'm going to do this by the end of the week. I'm going to hold myself accountable. And you need to understand that accountability and even making plans, because I kind of talked about that a little bit, they are crucial for living a life of design, for living intentionally. In this day and age, the default mode of living, if you look around, is literally going to work, coming home, and then just entertaining yourself on your days off, smoking, drinking, eating horrible foods, not doing anything, not having any purpose, and then having these thoughts that you want to do more, but not doing it. That's the default mode of life. And the only reason we're living this, the only reason this mode is so pervasive is because no one taught us how to live a life of design. No one taught us how to actually do the things we want to do, how to get off the couch and live a life that feels full to us. That's what you're going to learn in my Live by Design course. To first think about a description if that's something you're interested in. Now, I want you to hear this quote by Brene Brown that really ties this whole point together on accountability. She said, "Weak leaders avoid accountability. Strong leaders embrace it as a path to growth." If you want to grow in life, accountability is going to be how you'll do that, and responsibility. But I'm really drilling this point in because we live in a society that literally allows you to avoid being accountable. We live in a society that would rather you point the finger at somebody else than say, it was me and I'm going to fix this myself. We live in a society that wants us to be weak. That's why we have entertainment literally everywhere. That's why we live in a world of ease and convenience. Because if you're weak, if you don't take accountability for your life, if you don't take responsibility, if you point the finger, if you blame, if you play the victim card, you're easier to control. And I don't want to get too deep into that rabbit hole, but I want you to understand that there are forces in this world that want you to be weak, that want you to be average, and want you to be mediocre. And so many people are falling for that trap. But you don't have to be that. Like, you can get out. And accountability seems so small. But it's those small things that make the biggest difference in your life. Just like if you had a drop of poison in the glass, in a cup. Yeah, it's one drop of poison. It's small, but it will kill you. It's lethal. That's what these small things are. If you take yourself seriously and you start holding yourself accountable for doing the things you say you want to do, I promise you they will start getting done. And you will have a sense of confidence in yourself like never before, because you're going to become someone you never thought was possible just by holding yourself accountable. It happens so fast, and it only takes 6 minutes to do it. But if you reject this idea and you keep avoiding accountability, then you will stay average. And the life you have right now is all you're going to get. And it will go downhill, because life will never stay the same. It's in a constant movement. It will go up, it will go down, but it will never stay the same. So unless you're intentionally pushing your life to go up, it will go down by default. And accountability is one of those measures you can take to push your life to start going up instead of going down. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. I'll see you for the next one.